Welcome, fellow scumbags. I'm Danielle of Ripperoni Racing, and in this video I'm going to be taking care of a few easy tasks while I have the engine and transmission out of the race Merkur here. Finally getting into the good stuff, but not the best stuff, because after this is done, then I get to focus on the rest of the heavy fabrication work for the rear end swap on this car. But for now, the main reason I have the engine and trans out is because, there we go, that's the gasket splooged out of the back of the oil pan there. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the pan, RTV the gasket to the pan, let it set overnight before putting it back up. And hopefully that'll keep it from moving out of place, because oil is good inside engine. So now that this is out again, I can get the oil pan taken care of and a couple other things. I need to make a little armature that connects from here to the clutch cable, because I haven't converted to hydraulic quite yet. I have an M20 by 1.5 plug to put where the old oil level sensor used to be. And I have a shorter water pump to put on to make the serpentine belt line up, because this one with my single and double pulley is too far forward. And I think that's it for now, but all of that's going to be a lot easier with this out, along with cutting up the trans tunnel. So these are the mounts I made, and the color just isn't what I was expecting. I'm not the biggest fan of it, so I'm going to lay down a couple coats of fluorescent and see if that helps it out a bit. And I love the color so much better. This is what I was going for originally, was that wha-bam pink, to really contrast with the bright green and blue. I've got one bolt here above the oil drain port that's got to come down along with the pan so that it clears, but otherwise that'll be it. Come on, you know you wanna. I'd ordered a new gasket instead of trying to reuse the crusty old one, but that didn't quite pan out. Touch. I pet a moth. This is what I ended up with. Like, that ain't even remotely close with all the bolt holes. The bolt holes line up, but that ain't gonna do it for me. And it's the same in the back. And it's like, I get it. I bought a cheap ass gasket, not gonna lie, but it's not like I ordered it from Wish, so I was expecting something at least usable. But I guess I'm just going to end up cleaning off the gasket I have the best I can and crossing my fingers. This is it. I picked off the old RTVs best I could. Got all the loose stuff and large chunks off so that it was pretty much even again at least. And then I gave it a generous layer of RTV in the arches and on the corners in the front, because these bolt holes don't get used. There's no threaded holes on the timing cover on that engine. I can see why this kind of smushes out though, without letting the RTV cure first, is because this gasket isn't exactly perfect either. And even pressed in there perfectly evenly, there's this weird extra, but hopefully gluing it down like that, letting it dry first, will hold it in place. We're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen. Ta-da! Like it never happened. Actually, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I got it perfectly right the first time. All right, great success. The gasket is staying where it's supposed to be. So as I said, I have these bolts just snug at the moment, but I'll torque them down probably just another quarter turn or so tomorrow after this has had overnight to dry. So the next problem I have to try and solve is this water pump. And I believe this is the pulley that came on it, but the pulley doesn't line up. I forget exactly the measurement, but it's like 1/8 of an inch off. And I have another pulley, but that didn't solve my problem either. That's not gonna work at all. I don't know, I thought maybe it would be tilted enough to like, but no, not even close. It just, it's a problem with mismatched shit. And also not building your own shit, but I'll figure it out. Just after taking my water pump off last night and actually looking at these two, this is off my 87 turbo coupe engine that's in a room in my house. They're actually not the same bolt pattern, and this wouldn't have worked anyway. It being the pattern that it has would put it right here. So I was looking, there's one more option for a water pump pulley that looks like it might be different. So I'm gonna get one coming and try it. It looks like it's got a deeper dish than the single pulley that I have, so hopefully that recesses back enough to get my belt to line up. And then that'll be one less thing to worry about. Just 999 other things to go. I'll put this back on when the engine's in. I just want to get that done for the night. As you can see, half of my shifter area is covered. My shifter area of the T5 is covered by the trans tunnel, as the T9 originally sat farther back. So I'm just going to measure to the front of that housing and then mark where I need to cut on the tunnel, so I can do that while it's out and I don't have to worry about shit falling into the shift area. Housing, whatever. That much. Oof. All the way. Oh, alright then. Basically, I'll probably cut a little farther, but it needs to be at least that far. But now I know. I would normally say this is just my luck, but I ain't even mad. Just as I was looking for a bolt that would fit through the clutch arm and my link here, literally sitting on top of the box of bolts, like in the bin, was sitting this little guy, and it threads right onto the end of my clutch cable, and I'll have to open it up just the tiniest bit, but boom, it's there. Done. Ta-da! So cool. I'm pretty excited about that. Still gotta find a bolt real quick, but not bad, not bad. Boop. God, I can't wait to actually drive this car. Do something other than work on it. Ugh. It might immediately break. It'll be just my luck, but I don't even care. I just want to drive it or start it. I'd be excited just to start it. It'll get there. Oh, little clippy boy. This is the most dinosaur-ass technology, but fuck it. There we go. Got a little clippy on. So there's a tube in here that's attached to the pedal assembly that's gonna have to come out. It looks like there's a couple 10mm bolts or nuts and a clip on the pedal that has to come off to get that out, but that's gonna have to happen to get this cable in properly. Well, it's a really big bitch to see the actual thing from here, but my arms don't have enough joints. But these two nuts, and I guess the bolts on top, I believe hold that piece on. And then there's a clip that'll push up to get this pedal off, and then this right behind that is part of that tube, so hopefully that won't be too big of a nightmare to get out, but I'm about to find out. This is my attempt to show you guys what I'm doing. I don't know how well that's going to work. So that clippy boy needs to go off. Whoop, bonk. Ding, ding, ding. Show you guys the clutch pedal real quick since I have it out anyway, but I thought this was neat because I didn't even know about it, but when you pull the pedal up, it allows the mechanism that you put the other end of the clutch cable in to ratchet and adjust. deburr the hole so it doesn't tear up my cable. Alright, ready to go back in. I can say without a doubt that I will never be using an XR specific clutch cable ever again. And this bit here is a little bit bigger than the original opening. So I'm gonna see if I can just open that up enough to let that sit in, sit in against the firewall like it's supposed to. This thing's broken as fuck. Yes. Kick ass. Looks like it's been there its whole life. Alright. Okay. Woo! Feels good. Nice pedal. So that right there is wide open throttle. I am going to have to modify my gas pedal stop, but that's not a big deal. I'll just make another piece the same shape and drill a hole in it and bolt it through right there. There's already a hole in that. So make it stick out about 1/8 an inch and be good to go. So I still need to get a actual pin like the top has for the clutch cable linkage and an E-clip or something to go there, but just for getting it adjusted and stuff. There it is. I got a clutch and 3 working pedals. Yes. Feels good, man. At least this episode wasn't as unsuccessful as it was going. Not the most exciting or glamorous part of the project, but all little steps are little steps closer to it being a finished race car. Now that I'm done with the white car for this episode, let's switch to the blue car and see what we can get done. Hopefully it doesn't go the same way. Welcome back, fellow scumbags. It's the weekend, but every day's a school day, every day's a work day. Which sounds like a nightmare situation, but I'm pretty convinced that all mechanics are at least a little mentally ill anyway. But today, I know I said we were taking a step back from the blue car, and we are, but I got my lower radiator hose in, so I'm going to try and get that hose put together, which is going to be kind of a cobbled together thing. You guys will see that in a minute. But get the block and radiator flushed out with water, because a lot of nasty crap came out when I pulled that lower hose off. Get the hose on, and then let it run. Try to burp it. Let it run. See how it does, and if it behaves, then I'm going to try to take it to the gas station, which I have no rescue plan, so if anything goes wrong, I'll be walking back home for my trailer by myself. Didn't want to even take this hose off to flush this out, because I'm like, what if it just falls apart too? But if it's going to fall apart like that, I kind of need to know. The only place that I could find a direct replacement for this lower hose was on eBay. It was brand new, but it was also like $70 before shipping. Instead, I've got a universal flexible hose, 1.5 inch diameter. On this end, it's 1 1/4 at the other. So I've got this guy, which is, I believe, 17 inches, and a coupler for 1.5 to the 1 1/4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the hose in half here, because this end is still, as far as I can tell, it'll still do the job until I decide to buy proper parts for this. This and this together cost like 20 bucks. So if I can nip this wire, I'd like to put it back. Okay. So, crappy guy. Boop. Whoa. Oh, nasty as fuck. Don't drop the GoPro. Don't drop the GoPro. Ooh. Gnarly. Get on. Cool. That's what I want to do to this car. I'd like to replace all the rubber, do a tune-up on it, change all the fluids, the brake fluid, the diff, all of that. And if I keep it long enough, I will. I definitely want to go to Carlisle next year for the big Ford Merkur show. And there's a big group of Merkur people that get together. And I feel like even if the race car's done, this would probably be more enjoyable to drive across the country in. And then maybe I sell it, maybe I keep it forever. But for now, it's just one day at a time. Slide it through that little support. Great. One more connection. Very glad that this support is here because I feel like it otherwise would deform this. Trying to keep that shape, but that actually worked out really great as long as this end of the hose holds and that coupler doesn't leak. Okay, so I got my hoses all tightened back up. I think I do have the right fitting for my cone. So I am filling this with water only because I don't know, because it's very possible that I'll run into other problems and why waste the coolant, as well as probably wouldn't hurt to flush the shit in this out another time anyway, so at least once more before winter, all this old crap will get blown out and then it'll get nice fresh coolant in it. Then, as long as this holds coolant, I got to actually properly replace the reverse or the neutral safety switch wiring. And there was something else. Oh, I attached the shift linkage because I had the clip off because when I went to pick this car up initially and get it on the trailer, the shifter was stuck. So I had to jack it up and pop the linkage off and shift it into neutral by hand underneath. And a detail, big time detail, before this goes to anywhere in real public. Look at that. I'm definitely going to be glad to be flushing all that out again. She's just idling right along, doing pretty good. No gauges. Hopefully everything's doing fine. So I should have known better than to get my hopes up too much, but well, not only will I probably not be driving this to the show on Saturday, but I don't think this is going to see pavement this week either. Because it's not the hose leaking. I can reach all the way up to the outlet and it's dry. So it's definitely the pump leaking. I doubt I'm lucky enough for that to just be a problem that can be solved with a gasket or RTV. I won't know till I get it off, and I may or may not have time for that this week. But if it needs a pump, it's definitely going to sit for a little while. Because not only are parts for these hard to find, they're not always cheap. Even if I found one tomorrow or tonight, I doubt it would get here in time for me to get it on and sort out the rest of the car anyway. I do still plan on going to that show, but it'll be with Big Beautiful, the Lexus. If that turns into a good video, I'll post it, but I'm excited, but I'm not nearly as excited as I was when I thought that I was going to get to take this, but it'll still be a good time. Sometimes it's like this, where spend hours on this, that, and feels like I got nothing done. But that's not true. The lower hose got replaced, that needed to be done, and now I'm just finding the next weakest link. So eventually this car will get sorted, it will get driven, but not today. I hope you guys still enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Really does mean a lot. You know, thanks for bearing with me through this video, but the next one's gonna be a really good one, so don't forget to subscribe. I'll be getting into the fab work to finish up the rear end swap and coilover conversion on the white car, the race car. So you don't want to miss that. Also, like, share, and leave your feedback in the comments below, because I want to keep making this show better and better for you guys. Until next time, see you, love you, bye!